I
But
think
she was quite an extraordinary person. She was wonderful and all that, and you know, people always admired her, and she was very beautiful to look
Yeah.
at, and
Something
elegant
very,
and fine,
very
noble.
calming also about the
Very
way
no,
she
no,
was.
no. She
Yes.
was very noble to from every point of view. It wasn't anything put on. That's the way she was. And top of that, she was a very kind person. She did a lot for impoverished this and impoverished that, and she worked as charities, and you know, so people admired her greatly, always, always. So you know, I was very proud of her. And whenever we came, everybody always looked, oh, it was such a lovely mother. She was. And she was with us here, whatever, every party, every going anywhere. And it wasn't that I would go to the opera and not she. You know, she was always with us. And so, from that point of view, it was fine. And she stopped being embarrassed afterwards because it's not nothing to be embarrassed
No.
about. But you know, but she had to always curb. My father, the opposite. He would you know do things with me which were, but my mother shouldn't know because to her it would have been to eat in the park and in the street. Oh, this was terrible. So it was we had secrets with my father. She mustn't know about that, you know, because it would have been what manners? How can you do it? You know, that sort of thing. You know. Yeah. But, ay.
Okay, I think
Oh my God.
gonna leave it at that. We have just a little bit left, but you told a lot today also about Schonfeld and London.
Not about
but
about Schonfeld only.
Yeah, we'll fill in the gaps.
Only in the you know, that I was on his list. I mean, when he was going with us on the boat, fantastic. He was he was such a gorgeous man. You can't imagine what he looked like. It was like film star is not. I mean, the presence of this man, the charisma. One could never, ever, no matter if whatever he called himself, one of God's Cossacks, because he did everything his way. It didn't matter so long as the aim was there and he had to achieve it. And it didn't matter how, so long as he didn't harm anyone with it or anything like that. So that's when his orthodoxy and everything went. The idea was to get the children out by hook or by crook. And he did. And he did. Because nobody could say no to him. He was so charismatic and so absolutely stunning. In that uniform, when he put that uniform on and he looked in that uniform, first you'd never say it was a rabbi, you'd never know. I mean, he looked like an English officer, you know. He ordered, he invented a uniform. He invented a uniform for himself. That uniform did not exist. He invented it because he came to the conclusion, in his wisdom, great wisdom he had, that when he goes to Poland, the Poles love a uniform. If he'll go in a normal attire, as a rabbi, he won't even be allowed in, probably, indoors. But when he'll come dressed like that, they'll stand to attention. This is how it was. And that's how it was. And in that uniform, he looked like a god. Can't tell you. And there wasn't a thing he couldn't do. There wasn't a thing he couldn't do. He was absolutely one in millions. And so we were, of course, traveling together. We were on the boat. He was with us, and I was very close to him because I was translating for him and the children. I was the go between them, so to speak, because they didn't speak any English, of course not, and he no Polish at all. But I spoke German, and so we communicated that way. And he taught us songs, wonderful English songs, not religious songs, nothing like that. No, patriotic songs, Rule Britannia, and was explaining and was showing us about England and was talking about making the children interested where they were going, telling them about the country, singing ordinary English songs, which until today, I mean, I don't think I heard them ever before and ever after, but just so that to interest the children, to keep them together, that they should do it. He was marvelous. He was absolutely outstanding man. And his mind, he remembered not only every child to look at, everything about that child, where he came from, what he did, what the parents did, where he found. He knew everything about each child he brought, and he brought over 4,000.
How long was the journey?
7 days.
7 days.
I arrived on my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
I had such a present.
Yeah, quite.
On my birthday, really. Yes. 7 days.
So you had to travel from Krakow to
Gdynia.
Gdynia, and then on the boat from Gdynia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then where in England did you? Straight to
Tower
London.
opened for us. What a sight that was! Can you imagine? I have photographs of the boat and the bridge, and I mean, it's fantastic.
Quite incredible.
Yeah, you can't imagine the barrage of photographers at Tilbury, the barrage of photographers and journalists, and so, because it was an event. I was in the first transport.
First from Poland, or first of all?
First from Poland. First, yes.
Because he also brought children from other countries
No,
as well, didn't
before the war.
Ah.
He brought them before the war, from Hungary and Czechoslovakia, and so he brought them before the war, just before the outbreak of war, saved them. But we were after the war, 46, first. And so consequently he brought 3 transport. I was in the first one.
So I can imagine that was quite something.
Oh,
yeah,
it was quite something.
Okay, let's leave it at that, and we'll continue with this part.
Thank you.
Next week, Tuesday?
I think so. I think 27th.
27th,
something like that.
Yes, 27th. And I just wanted to tell you something else, but I can't remember now. I wanted to ask if you ever got my email, because I replied to your email about the ciasteczka thing.
Yes.
Did you get it?
Thank you.
Okay,
yes,
so some of them come.
But tell me, what can I do? Maybe you can help. I have a friend who is a theatre and opera director, and he's now in Poland, and he's directing a play. He's doing a play there. And his mother is very ill in Warsaw. And so I've been trying to, I'm very surprised that I don't hear from him. And he is very, very close to me and attached to me. Well, he would, normally, he would phone, maybe not, because he's busy, few words, nothing, complete. So I sent one email, I sent another email. This morning I had a call from a friend of mine who is there with him, and she says that Michael says that he sent you a number of emails, and I never got any. And it's not on the junk, it's not on the trash, it's not on whatever. I can't.
That sounds like it's. That's because if it happened with some of my emails and now with his, then it sounds like it's your end.
Yeah, but
so
what?
It's your.
It must be, but what? What can it be?
Some
Where can
kind
I
of,
look?
Some kind of filtering. What program do you use for your emails, to read your emails?
What do you mean, what?
Do
Apple. I'm
Okay.
on Apple.
There are two ways to do it on any device. You use iPad, right?
iPad, yes.
You can either go to the website. For example, if you have I have an email account with Yahoo, so I can go to Yahoo website and log in from there, or I can use a mail client, which is like an application that gets those emails.
So what should I do? I don't know what to do. I've no idea. I can't understand how it can just...
It can happen. It
Tell
does
me
happen.
messages. How do I get when it's a messages? My daughter said the other day to me, you must try messages. What are messages?
There are different types of messages. Messages, she may mean a Facebook Messenger.
Message, like it said, and I saw it sometimes somewhere
like
here
a
going,
blue
message, just
like,
message. How do I get the message on it?
Because, as I say, message may mean lots of different things. No, she means
messages.
Yeah.
That it's under messages, under the
that's an equivalent of a text.
So maybe it's there. I am not. It's nowhere.
But if you don't know that you have a messages account set up, then you wouldn't have given him the details, so he wouldn't be sending it there.
No, he probably sends it to me. He sends it normally, like you would have sent to me normally on my email address.
Sometimes it happens, and it can be quite random.
But she said he sent you a few emails. A few? I didn't get one.
The problem
he obviously gets mine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because he asked her, look, I can't talk now because he's busy. I mean, directing the play is busy. So he asked her to call me and to tell me that he sent me emails. So obviously he gets my emails because I wrote twice or three times to him. And I said, I'm very worried. What's going on? How is Małgosia? What's happening? She was very ill today. She was taken to hospital again. And he's a wonderful son, great. So I want to know what's going on. Nothing.
Do you remember off the top of your head if his email address is with Yahoo, Gmail?
He has several. I can show you.
Because it might be that your email account right now is filtering certain emails and recognizing them as blacklist.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you come with me?